Hi, it's Kevin Labates here, and today's video is a continuation of the previous video in which I provided 3 tips for up-and-coming authors. And the core of the previous video can be distilled into one statement, which is think about your audience. Have an image in your mind of the kind of person that your book is aimed at and write it with that person in mind. So continuing that forward, we can now consider the structure of your book, and that is, what is it that you're trying to impart to the reader, and how do you have to put together your writing so you achieve that? And there are different kinds of books. So for example, the simplest one really is a tutorial, a book that is aiming to impart some knowledge that you have to your reader who doesn't have that knowledge. A more subtle version of that is a bit trickier is where you're trying to change an opinion. You believe that your reader has a certain misguided opinion about the world, and you're trying to write a book that will engage them, and at the end of the journey through your book, they will have a different view of the world, hopefully a more enlightened one or a more insightful and in-depth one. That's harder than the previous, just trying to impart facts. And then there are a number of techniques that you can use to achieve this. One is through well-constructed arguments. Another one is through the use of analogies, where you take something familiar to the reader and you use it to draw parallels with the new view of the world that you're trying to impart. That is surprisingly hard. It's very easy to just quickly pick on something that you think is analogous to the point that you're trying to make and then run with it. When I use analogies in my book Move Over Brokers, Here Comes the Blockchain, those are analogies that I thought about for months. Those are analogies that I presented in videos. I got comments and I responded to them and engaged in a dialogue with people who were ultimately going to end up being typical of my readership, and refined them. So don't just pick the first thing that you think looks similar to the point you're trying to make. Analogies are hard. Another technique you can use is comedy. People tend to remember things if they're funny, if they jar their worldview in a way that makes them laugh. Again, comedy is really hard. You have to go and study how observational comedians out there manage to pull it off or fail to. But anyway, these are all techniques, tools in your toolbox, as it were, that you can use to achieve the aims of your book. And that, therefore, really is the crux of it all. What is the point of your book? Why are you writing it? What are you trying to achieve with it? And it can't be, I want to be an author, because your readership doesn't care about the fact that you want to be an author. It has to take the reader in mind. The reader is central. So I hope this video helps on your journey to becoming a writer. As always, my advice is, if you can, avoid becoming a writer. It's a painful and horrible process, but if you are compelled to, nevertheless, maybe this will assist you a bit on that journey. I will be making one more video about this, so keep your eyes peeled for that one, and see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.